Welcome back to the Us versus Them channel. I'm your host, Vince, and we're going to break down the next fight for the upcoming fights this weekend. We got Jourdain versus Davey Grant. Right now, Jourdain is sitting at a minus 178 approximately, and Davey Grant is around a plus 138 underdog. Before we get into the breakdown, if I could remind you guys to hit the like button on this video, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate that. One thing I can easily predict about this fight, between Davey Grant and Jourdain, is that it's probably going to be a striking bout. That's not super hard to predict. We have seen in the past that Davey Grant, just really doesn't go for takedowns at all, but he has pretty solid takedown defense. And on the other hand, you got Jourdain, and outside of some foot sweeps in the Victor Henry fight, he doesn't really go for takedowns either. Could the foot sweeps play a factor here? Potentially. I think that it's possible that he can score a foot sweep, but I really don't see him being able to get a foot sweep and actually scoring some control time on top either. So it's like I said, it's kind of easy to predict, but I think this is going to be a striking bout. But we have seen in the past, though, if this does end up somehow being a grappling match, both these guys can be pretty dangerous on the ground. We have seen, in the Rafael Sunsao fight, where Davey Grant got that inverted triangle, probably down 2 rounds at that point, really late in the 3rd round, and got just a silly triangle, the inverted one. And then, we have seen Jourdain have a really good guillotine game. He kind of really worked up for it in his most recent fight. That was a fight against Victor Henry. He kind of leaned up for it. He got it from guard. So it was really impressive that he was, it was obvious that he was going for it. His opponent knew he was going for it. Didn't think he could do it from there, and he showed he could. So he's got a really dangerous guillotine game for sure. Like I said, these guys, if it does somehow end up on the ground, we could see a potential finish down there. When I'm breaking down their striking, I can definitely see both guys having some success in the striking. But at the same time, both guys also are relatively defensively sound, especially Davey Grant's side. And all the footage that I watched him fight, he's not really taking big, clean shots. He does a really good job of kind of rolling with them, anticipating that they're coming. So even when they do land, he's kind of already in the backward motion. So, like I said, those strikes aren't landing as clean. So, but like I said, both these guys, I think, are going to find some success in the striking, but I also just don't see anybody, both of them have good chins. I don't really see anybody taking a big concussive KO, punch or kick. We have seen in the past fights that both guys do have some success at range, a little bit further range, not that dirty boxing or even boxing range. They like to kind of both work the jab. Davey Grant, obviously, he's got a really nice jab. It says that these guys, their reach is the same. Like, I think they're both at like 69, but if you look at a picture of them side by side, it just seems like Davey Grant's arms are just come down to his ankles. He's got seemingly a really, really long reach. And I definitely think he's going to be able to have a little bit of an advantage when they're playing in the striking, out that distance striking range. For my official prediction, this one's going to be a really close fight. Obviously, I'm trying not to be as biased as possible because I do like Davey Grant and I like rooting for Davey Grant. But at the end of the day, we got to make good picks for what we think is going to hit. And so I'm trying to replay how this fight's going to look in my head. And I think the first round is probably going to be a little bit more technical. I think both guys are going to take a little bit more of a measured approach and work that distance striking like I was talking about. Could favor Davey Grant, but, you just never know because it's probably going to be a low output round. And I think somewhere around the second round was we're going to start to see the output start to increase. That's kind of what I expect here. And then at that point, they're going to slowly kind of work themselves into a brawl. And the only thing that I can really say is, I'm pretty confident this is going to go to a decision. And if it does, I'm pretty confident Davey Grant's going to win round 3. That's the only person that I can really see confidently picking around. It's just because his cardio, and he does a good job of maintaining a good output throughout the fight versus some other guys who kind of start up and then kind of works down slowly. He probably revs up a little bit as the fight goes on. So because of that, I'm going to have to just pick with Davey Grant on this one, and I'll pick Davey Grant by decision. Oh, one more thing I forgot. Well, another thing important to know to kind of reinforce my decision here. Davey Grant's also been working with Merab. Obviously, Merab is a fucking cardio freak. He's a phenom. I think anybody just around his presence, their cardio is just going to go up if you're just training alongside that dude. It just kind of has to. So that's another reason why I'm feeling confident in the pick for him to win round 3. So reinforcing my pick. We're going Davey Grant on this one by decision. That's all I got for you guys in this breakdown. I really appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. If you agree or disagree with the prediction, leave a comment below. Like I said, I'm pretty interactive with everybody. I respond to every single comment we get. So, but yeah, and stop by for our next video. We're breaking down Bruno Silva versus Hong Sung Park. That I do see a good path to victory to make some money on that one. So stop by for that video as well. And that's all I got for you guys. I'm done rambling. So I'm the fuck out of here.